All right, guys, I'm super pumped to be here. I'm really excited to kind of introduce you, the chiropractors, to the world of messenger marketing. For those of you who know nothing about it, for those of you who know some of it, this is going to be for everyone. So essentially, the purpose of the talk here is I just want to show you what the capabilities are, what messenger chat is, and how it literally is going to be the future of patient acquisition and patient retention. So just a little bit about myself, about Rowood Media. We've been involved in the space since the inception of messenger marketing for about 2 years. We've been in a lot of industries and niches: marketing, coaching, real estate, e-commerce, hospitality, law, automotive, and now chiropractic. And we're super excited about the possibilities in chiropractic. And through implementing these messenger marketing strategies, we've been able to generate $500,000 and counting for our existing clients. So we're really excited about the future of messenger marketing. And now a lot of you are probably wondering, what is a Facebook Messenger chatbot? Some of you have never even heard that. I'm sure some of you, when you hear the word chatbot, you think of those, annoying little widgets on your website that pop up and say, hey, do you need some more help? So that's not it at all. Facebook Messenger chatbot literally is a dynamic automated conversation that pretty much mimics a conversation that Dr. Mike and I would have, but it's all online through Messenger. And so, how do you know if someone has a Messenger chatbot? The easiest telltale sign is if you go to someone's Facebook page, and you go and you click the send message button. Essentially what would happen would be, your text box would pop up, but in this case, in that text box at the bottom, it says get started. There's nowhere for you to type anything. So as soon as you click that get started button, you've literally opted in to their chatbot. So they've gone from cold traffic to traffic that you now own, which is really awesome. And so this is kind of what that looks like in the mobile view. And if you go ahead and if you hit that get started button, I'll show you exactly what that looks like, and I'll walk you through that.
I think I need to use your earplugs. That's probably why it's not working.
And so essentially, as soon as you hit that get started button, the welcome message will come in here. And you have the opportunity.
Hold on, Andrew. I'm just going to mute Jim here. Do you have him in the top corner? Andrew, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
They hear you on the web.
Okay. Yeah. So we're just going to, I'm going to mute. We've got guests coming in, and I'm trying to mute them. You can also mute them by putting your cursor over the top box and muting them.
Trina, they just said we're going to mute Jim here. Good see you.
Let's unmute his audio. Okay, we should be good now.
I still can't.
All right, okay. Go ahead, Andrew.
All right. So as soon as you click the get started button here, this is what will pop up. The automated message shows up, and it says, welcome Andrew. And that's the benefit here, is that you now have the ability, to explore this ecosystem. If you click the call us button, essentially you can call them directly from Messenger. If you hit the website button, the website opens native to Messenger, and you can explore the website without having to leave. Looking for an email, click the email button here, and you can see that their email shows up. And if you want to explore their health tips, their drip campaigns here, the minute that you do that, it's all there relative inside Messenger. And that's the added benefit here, is that this is this ecosystem that allows you to explore here and not have to go elsewhere to get that valuable information. So, I want to kind of break down chatbots and help you understand them on more of a granular level here. So, messenger chatbots are kind of like having an employee that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And that's huge, because you can literally have this employee that you hire for a small nominal fee, pay them a small monthly, much smaller than you would a regular employee, and they're going to put forward that same online customer service time after time, no matter what day of the year, no matter what time of day it is. That's the added benefit here, is you get that nonstop superior experience. And then if we move ahead, and chatbots are kind of like having a patient education system nonstop, where you're educating your patients about what it is that you do, who you serve, any types of services that you may have. That's the added benefit of having this online patient education that never stops running. The also added benefit of a messenger chatbot is you never have that lull period between someone interacting with you online through messenger and having to lose their business because you didn't get back to them in a timely manner. That is what is available in messenger chat. And in doing so, you're going to ensure that you have the best customer service, that you provide the highest quality of service, and people will understand that this is a medium that they're always going to want to come back and talk to you to. So why should chiropractors use this? How does this build trust? How does this allow you to get more patients, to retain them down the line? And so if you take a look at this, at the most fundamental level, chatbots are built on three things. They're built on teach. You have to educate. You have to teach your patients, your prospects, about who you serve, what it is that you do. In the attention-starved world that we live in, how do you grab their attention long enough for them to be able to understand what it is you do, to get the value from for them to get the value from the services you provide, the care that you give. And that's huge, because then that leads to building trust. And that adage, you do business with people who you trust. Well, unfortunately, you're skipping a step here. You do business with people who you know. You're not going to build trust with someone you don't know. And so you have to get in front of them. And how you're doing this is through teaching, through education. And then you, my friend, are outside of the circle of trust. Until you build that trust and people feel comfortable enough to come to you, to bring their family to you, that's the key here. And then after you teach, you educate, you build trust, then we move into selling. That's where, you make those sales after you deliver the value, and after people, your prospects and your patients, feel comfortable with you. So why are we moving towards chat? Why am I saying that chat is the future for chiropractic? Well, if we take a look at the traditional ways that chiropractors have marketed, they've done it a few different ways. And the first one has been, they put out a traditional newsletter. Newsletters are great. They have that value, they have that information. Table talk, you have a small window, when your patients to see you, to communicate with them, exchange pleasantries, but then you move into, valuable information that you want them to take away with them. Dinner with the doc, that's a time investment and a financial investment as well for you to continue to market that way. Spinal care class, that's another investment for, either your employees or, either yourself. It involves your time, which is huge. Social media channels, this is the day and age we live in. This is the future. So we need to be able to be on all of these channels. And, waiting room DVDs, these have gone the way of the dinosaurs in the world that we live in, with the, being attention starved and having to understand and take a look at being bombarded with advertisements. How are we going to remember the information that we learned on a waiting room DVD in the world that we live in? So it's tough that, traditional marketing has served chiropractors for a very long time, but, you have to adapt to the changes. And this is where we see chat being implemented, right? Like I said, table talk, you have a small window of time to communicate with someone and tell them something that you hope that they take with them when they leave your business, your practice. But unfortunately, some people have, kids, groceries, the world is just filled with constant bombardment of our attention. So it's tough to remember those things. How are we going to remember what the chiropractor said at a 9 o'clock appointment, at 8 o'clock at the end of the night? It's difficult. The world we live in is saturated with smartphones. Smartphones are glued to our hands. We have tablets, we have smartphones, we have Kindles, we have anything and everything. It's time for us to exist. It's time for chiropractors to market heavily into the devices that are such a big part of our lives, and creating content that people generally want to see and people will get value from. We're going through this epidemic where people, teenagers are suffering from spinal degeneration that we see in 70 and 80-year-olds. That's great content there. That's incredible content that, a mother or father of, parents of 4 that, their children are glued to their smartphone, and, they're at risk of this. This is the information you need to get across to your patients and your prospects. And so, and on top of the value that lies in messenger chat, we can't take a look, we can't distance ourselves from the actual statistics here. And that's where messaging and social media app usage has absolutely skyrocketed over the last few years. And so it only makes sense to be marketing and to be providing value and educating your patients and prospects on channels that they use. And I don't know if you know this, but since 2017, the top 4 messaging apps have surpassed the top 4 social media apps in monthly active.
That's crazy, yeah.
So that's huge. I mean, I guarantee I didn't know that until I saw that. And so it's really important for us to be able to market and to be able to provide value, once again, where our patients and prospects are spending their time. So why Messenger? There's a platform. The Messenger platform boasts 1.3 billion monthly active users. That's huge, and it's only continuing to grow. And so, this is where your patients and your prospects communicate with their friends, communicate with their family, communicate with other brands. It only makes sense for you to be exactly where they're spending their time. And so this is a big debate here, messenger versus email. Email has been around for decades, right? And so open rates and click-through rates have seen a significant drop. And so, you can say, hey, brag about your 3 to 5% click-through rates, but why don't you take a look at Messenger and how there's 80 to 100% open rates and 75 to 97% click-through rates. I mean, these are our numbers here that we're seeing with our clients.
And Andrew, let's explain to the doctors who are listening, or those who are watching this as a webinar, the difference between an open rate and a click-through rate, because some of them might not know what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. So an open rate is essentially the percentage of people who open, I guess in the email context, who open your email, who open your message on Messenger. Click-through rates are people who open that message and then click on or go through the call to action and click through, whether it be Messenger or whether it be through email. And so that's the main difference between the two. And the reason why Messenger has such high open rates and click-through rates is because the main difference is, email's been around for a very long time. And so if you get an email, you're driving your car, you're brushing your teeth, you're, having lunch, you tell yourself you get back to it. And then, your home screen of your phone gets bombarded with a few different things. And then you never get to that email, because at the end of the day, none of us, very few of us have, those 0 inboxes. And our email inboxes are always full. And that information, if you're sending out a blast, might get pushed down and never get read. And so the reason Messenger gets read is because Messenger, their default setting is to appear on the home screen of your phone, just like a text message or an email. But the main difference is you're not going to let your Messenger inbox grow to 1,000 messages. You probably don't even get 1,000 messages in, a year, well, depending on how active you are. But the main difference here is that the open rates are so significant because people use Messenger so much. People use messaging apps, so they're always there. You get a notification in Messenger, you're going to go check it out. Same thing goes to the click-through rates. If you're putting valuable information, it's a guided experience, right? Like in the beginning when I showed you, and for all those people who are listening and can't see, essentially in that Messenger ecosystem, you have options to click. And so if someone sends out a message, that's where the click-through rates are so high, because people continue to engage with the conversation, engage with chat. And this is a big one I hear a lot. People challenge the fact of our chatbot's going to take over, human beings, or they get upset about this, or they get irritated by this. And the main difference here is I never see chat taking over the actual one-on-one human interaction, especially, being a doctor of chiropractic. People need to have those one-on-one connections. But where chat comes in as a massive value add is it can facilitate and provide value on information that people are looking for, or your patients or prospects are looking for, that don't necessarily need to have that human response added to it. It doesn't need your time or your CA's time or anyone else's time in your office. It can literally be facilitated through chat. FAQs. People can go into your chatbot and check it out. Hours, your hours, your locations, they're in chat. Testimonials, it's there. Your services, it's all there, and it's facilitated 24/7, 365. So it's a perfect bridge from providing the value and information that your patients or your prospects need, and then moving on into that one-on-one, that FaceTime, that interaction.
I think that's a good point, Andrew, that last slide, because I watch my numbers and I'm at 12 and a 4%. So 12% open rate and a 4% click-through rate, which is actually average. So the emails, there's so many people that are getting emails at Sloss, and you compare that to the 80s and 90s on an open click-through rate on Messenger, especially being mobile responsive. I mean, when your phone dings, what do you automatically do? You're trained to look at your phone, and it's right there. That is your default. It's on the screen. So this is why, and I tell doctors, if you knew about Facebook, like, 10 years ago, or if you could have invested, in Apple or Uber or one of those, would you have, knowing what it's doing now? This is the same thing with Chatbot. I think where everything is moving, especially with the dominance of Facebook and Instagram, that this is something that it's not something you should think about, but it's an absolute must-have for any of your mobile marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not so much, and those are great points. And it's not so much something where, you're just putting something out and you're feeling salesy about it. That's something that I see a lot of people being nervous about, being, hey, I like marketing. I understand the value of my business, or my practice, but I just don't want to seem like a used car salesman. And this is where Messenger is the opposite of that, because it's conversational. If someone clicks, the testimonials in the chatbot, it'll open a whole new sequence, and people can explore the testimonials there. It's not something that's in your face. That's hey, you need to do this. No, I can go back to the main menu if I wanted to. I can take a look at your services. It's conversational commerce, and that's the day and age that we live in. And so it's fun to be able to educate chiropractors on this, because that's where they need to be. They need to be in a spot where they can, provide that value, but make it fun, engaging, conversational, and ensure that, the patients and the prospects that they know they can help serve and provide value to actually see that information. And that's where Messenger has a massive leg up on other platforms.
Yeah, I agree.
So it was you stopped me at a funny time here. This funny picture I have on the screen was kind of, the segue of, a lot of people get to this point, in education about Messenger, and they kind of scratch their head and say, this is crazy. I don't know if I need another tool. I don't need to layer it on top of what I'm doing. And some people are really gung ho. They're really excited about, new opportunities, new frontiers. And so essentially, the next step here, before we move on, is if anyone has any questions, we have limited time in these master talks, but if anyone wants to reach out to me, you can check us out at royalwoodmedia.com, ROYALWOODMEDIA, media.com, or email me, andrew@royalwoodmedia.com. Or, feel free to call me as well. Drop me a text. It's no troubles at all. 647-880-7494. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
And that's important for those of you who are listening to this as a replay, as a podcast. Andrew's in Toronto and servicing all of North America, the world. We're just over in the UK, so this can be done globally for any of our Australian or European clients as well.
100%. There's no borders here. So what I wanted to touch upon is the fact that, some people get overwhelmed thinking that it's just another tool. And they're doing email marketing, they have some Facebook going on, Facebook posts, and some other things, and it just might be too much for them. And I'm here to tell you that the most amazing element about Messenger here, especially in the patient acquisition side, is that you can tie in Messenger into any of your existing social media or marketing platforms, whether that's organic or paid traffic or paid ads. Sorry, this is huge here, because what that means is that you can literally, and I'm going to walk you through the main marketing platforms that a lot of businesses are on. You can use that to plug into everything you're currently doing and not create an additional layer, but make it ubiquitous across everything you're already using. So a perfect example here is on your website. Say you have a great website, you're driving traffic, say Dr. Mike built you this website, like he does, building all these amazing websites. A perfect example is here from, the past event that we just, Dr. Mike put on, the 10X Social Media Bootcamp. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can see that there's a messenger icon. And this here shows you that, you can just simply insert messenger on your website with a call to action. Here it says, click here for hotel details and testimonials, very specific call to action. So if someone's interested, they would click that chat now button. And so that would actually lead to the chatbot opening natively on that website. So there's no redirect, no one's leaving there. But just remember, like I mentioned at the beginning, the minute someone clicked that chat now button, they've subscribed to your chatbot, just like email. They have subscribed, they've opted in, and now that's traffic you own that you can follow up with at any time, which is huge.
So Andrew, in other words, you turned cold traffic into hot, and it's a one-click opt-in, essentially is what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So there's no name, there's no email, there's no phone number. It's click, and they're in your chatbot group.
You've completely eliminated the landing page. And I know that might make some marketers upset, but you're literally streamlining and you're making this as frictionless as possible for the end user.
What I love about this is I teach multiple pillars. So this is just another pillar that's simple, stupid, easy. And it's just like a one-click upsell, like on Amazon. It's that simple.
Yep. 100%. And the fact that it opens natively, it doesn't, redirect you. That's a big problem. That's not a problem. The problem that, people faced before was if they get redirected somewhere else, chances are, they'll lose their train of thought or they'll get caught up in something and they'll never come back. The benefit here is that it opens natively. It opened Facebook Messenger. So if you were actually to leave that website and go to your Facebook page, not just any Facebook, just open your Facebook, that chat would open and it would pick up exactly where you left off.
How cool is that?
It's huge.
Yeah.
And so the next major element that you can implement is, your social media. So if you take your social media, which I'm sure, a lot of you are using, you can actually put this in anything that you're using. So the first one would be Instagram. We all know we can put a link in our bio. So typically, if someone had put out a post, the call to action was to click the link in the bio. It may be your website and maybe something else. What you can do now is you can take chatbots have the ability to create their own URL that's native to not just the chat, but you can create these URLs that are specific to each individual section in the chatbot. So you could have a URL that sends people directly to your services. You could have a URL that sends people directly to your scheduler. So essentially, if you implemented this in Instagram, the minute someone comes to the link in the bio and clicks it, they'll get redirected to your Facebook Messenger chatbot. And once again, in that one click, they have opted in. So you've captured that cold traffic into traffic you now own through your Instagram page, and they go through your Messenger chatbot. That same experience that they're going to get, unique and top-notch experience. Another thing you can implement is in YouTube, right? In your description at the bottom there. If you have a really great video, and I'm just going to go back to spinal degeneration here. You put out great content on spinal degeneration. The call to action is to click the link in the description to get some more information. Same thing goes here. You put a link here that leads people back to your chatbot. One click, subscription, cold traffic into traffic you now can follow up with and provide value at scale. Same thing goes with Twitter. You want to send out a tweet. Put a link in your tweet. People click it, redirect it to the chat experience. You can keep it in your description there. You can put it in Snapchat. You can use it in Skype. Say you're Skyping someone, and you want them to check this out. The sky is the limit here. You can put it across any social media platform that you're currently using. Google Plus, throw it in there. And then our beloved email lists, right? you put in a little bit of copy, ask your list to click the link to check out what it is you got going on, new marketing platform, or something more specific. The minute they click that, once again, I'm sure you guys are getting sick of me saying this, but one click, they've opted in cold traffic into traffic you now own, and you're providing value in your chat ecosystem. Where the main big takeaway here is that even if they are coming into your chatbot for a specific reason, say it was a promotion that you were running, and they know they're going to get that value for the promotion, and they've never interacted with your business or with you before, they're now, once they opt into your chatbot, they're subscribed to your chat, but now they're in your, let's call it your chatbot ecosystem. So now they might have never known that you offer these particular services. Now they have the ability to explore your testimonials. Now they have the ability to schedule an appointment with you after you've taught them a little, and you're building trust right off the get-go. Now they have the ability to subscribe to an 8 to 12 week drip sequence that you have about TextNet. This is the huge added benefit here, is that people come in, they get the value through the specific reason they came in for, and then they have the ability to navigate everything that you have going on. Moving on to the next massive pillar here in the social media and in the Facebook ad, Instagram ad ecosystem here. So messenger ads, that's what they're called. And the reason why messenger ads are incredible is because, well, first of all, you can implement them with Instagram and you can implement them with Facebook. And what these ads mean is that if you set up an ad that is a messenger specific ad, you can have your call to action, which can be, hey, we're offering free x-rays, or whatever your value prop is. Click the send message button or click sign up. The minute they click that button, I jumped ahead. The minute that they click that button, they then get redirected to your chatbot. They're now opting in to your chat as well. But at the end of the day, you're capturing 100% of the cold traffic that interacts with your ad, and you're eliminating the landing page. So typically what that looks like before, you'd ask them to sign up, click that button, they get redirected to a landing page. They have to input their name, their email, and then they get subscribed to, your email sequence, or they get whatever value prop that you were offering. Here, it's completely frictionless. One click opt-in, they go redirected to the chat sequence via messenger ads in Instagram or messenger ads in Facebook. And now they're in your chatbot, getting the value. You have the ability to follow up them whenever you want, and you don't have to spend a dime on retargeting them anymore, because through that one-click opt-in, they became traffic you own, which is huge.
Now, Andrea, I'm going to ask a question, just so I have clarity in this. Once they've opted in, are they put into a special group, or are they just affiliated with your entire Facebook world, like your friends? I mean, how do you have different groups? Are they coming in from different social media tools? How are they sort of grouped within ManyChat?
Right. So before I get to that, Dr. Mike just mentioned the word ManyChat, and ManyChat is one of the hosting platforms that these solutions are built on. So essentially, if someone, it doesn't matter where they came from. If they click to opt into your chatbot, they're going to go somewhere in your chatbot, whether it's the welcome message. Like I said, it's kind of dependent on, the links or whatever the call to action is. So you can send them to specific areas of your chatbot directly, but they'll still have the ability to kind of go elsewhere. So they could be sent anywhere depending on, what your call to action is, but they'll get tagged on the back end from where they came from and for what it is that where they are in the chatbot. So essentially, everything that someone does in Messenger chat, they get tagged. So you can help build better, customer or prospect profiles of your leads and understand what people are doing in your chatbot, which is huge.
Gotcha. Fantastic.
So, Messenger is a great way to implement a lead generating machine, right? Like I showed you that, you can use it in patient acquisition as well as patient retention. And you can plug it into every social media platform that you're on, or any kind of marketing medium that you're using, which is beneficial through and through. Your list building, right? Just like an email, you're building a list in Messenger, and as you provide more value, as ensure that you're getting, you're marketing a lot. If you're using your chatbot and people are coming in, you're building a healthy list here, and you can do different things with that list. You can send broadcast messages, just like an email broadcast. You can do that in Messenger. You can segment your audience, do it for people that came in through a specific spinal screening value prop, or you can send it to your entire list. That's a huge value add there in list building. Lead nurturing, like I said, just like an email, you can subscribe people to a drip sequence, whether it's a week or 12 weeks or a couple days. Remember that as soon as you send those messages in that drip sequence, that message from you is going to show up on the home screen of their phone, just like a text message, just like an email. And that's where the power lies in the open rates, the 80 to 100%, the 70s to 80 to 100% open rates, the 79 to 97%, or even 100% click-through rates. That's where that power lies. And at the end of the day, you're converting these leads through automation in the most basic form, because going back to those three foundations of chat: teach, build, trust, sell. You're teaching through the value you have in the ecosystem that they can navigate at their own speed. You're teaching and educating through the drip sequences that you have. You're building that trust, and then in the end, people do business with people who they know and people who they trust, and that's where you end up converting all those leads. So before we how are we doing for time?
We're good. We got to be coming to the end, Andrew. So we're about 38 minutes now. So 37. So yeah, let's talk about the QR code. This is really cool.
Yeah, this is and this is kind of coming up to the end here. So I'm just going to share this last little bit. So we've been talking about how Messenger can kind of intertwine with all your online marketing efforts, but what is super unique about Messenger as well is that you can use it offline. And it's going to be a little tricky to describe what this means to people who are listening to the podcast, but we're going to power through this. So offline, Messenger has something called Messenger scan codes. And it's just like its own unique, QR code that back in the day for BlackBerry Messenger, you'd hold that over, you'd scan it. You even have scan codes now. I don't know why I went all the way back to BlackBerry, but essentially what you can do here is in Messenger, you have the ability to go and open up, your own scan code. And within that, you can hold this scan code over a QR code that you have, and it will opt you into the chatbot. So I'm not sure, who do we have on here with us if they want to, give it a go? Or
yeah, I just tested it. It works. It's fantastic.
So essentially what you do is you open Facebook Messenger. You'd click your profile picture in the top left corner. As soon as you click that, you would click your personal scan code, and that's that it's going to be this code with your picture or whatever your picture is for your business page is going to be in the middle, and then around it there's going to be a series of dashes and dots and circles. So you would click that in the middle of your screen, and then at the very top of your screen, it's going to say scan code. And you'd want to click that, and it's going to go to your camera, and it's going to have this kind of circular area that you would hold over the Messenger scan code. And the minute you get it centered in the middle of that, it opts you into the chatbot.
Right. So it's like a little camera. They'll see a little camera, and you want to just sort of put your finger on the camera. And then now you've got like a camera look with a circle, and you just put that circle with your camera right over top of that QR code.
Yep. And now you're tying in offline and online messages. And a great example of where you could use this, and we've had chiropractors implement a Messenger scan code, is they had it printed and put right at the front desk when their patients came in. And the CA would say, hey, do you want to get some more information about a specific campaign that they're running? I'll go back to TextNet. Or something about improving your lifestyle through chiropractic. And they'd say, yeah, sure, absolutely. So the CA would walk them through this. They say, great, open your phone and open Messenger, and I'll show you how to scan this. And the instructions were there. and people would hold it over, they would scan it, and as they're sitting in the waiting room waiting for their doctor, the drip sequences about those specific topics were already coming to them in Messenger. So even when they go in, they get their adjustment and they leave, they're taking home the world of chiropractic with them that's going to be dripped to them through their Messenger chatbot.
How cool is that? I mean, the implications are huge. You could be out there giving a lecture at a company, guys, and say, hey, listen, you know, to get the rest of these 12 points on 10 tips to live to 100, or, you know, anti-cancer code or whatever, you know, take out your phone, go to Messenger, and then you get them to click on your QR code on your screen as the last PowerPoint slide. Excuse me. And then now you've captured them as a lead. And you think about this when you're doing health fairs, if you're doing screenings, outside lectures, lunch and learns, your own patients, the implications are massive, and how to use it. So I love this as an offline tool. Yeah,
it's super beneficial, and that takes us to the end there. And
so one more time, Andrew, for those on the podcast that are listening to this, if they want to get hold of you, your email, website, and your cell number.
Yeah, so you know, feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all. My email is andrew@royalwoodmedia, ROYALWOODMEDIA.com. Website, royalwoodmedia.com. And my phone number is 647-880-7494. And like I said, feel free to reach out. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
So I'm just going to open up the lines. And if anyone has a question, feel free to ask or just type it in the chat box down below. I see Jim Casper on here. I see Bob. Anyone have a question?
No, I'm good.
No questions. That's all right.
All right. Well, listen, if there's no questions, guys, then what we're going to do is we're going to call it a night. We're going to put this back up on the CMI Library Vault, and doctors can go listen to this. We'll repurpose this to the podcast. I'll throw it up on Facebook tomorrow so you can watch it. So, Andrew, hey, man, thanks a million for investing your time, money, and energy into this. You know, I know this is the next wave to learn how to surf. And, you know, in social media, if you're not on this stuff, man, you're left behind. So I feel sorry for the guys that aren't, you know, fully immersed in Facebook, aren't fully immersed in Instagram or ClickFunnels or the chat bots, because this is where it's at. So congratulations, buddy, and look forward to working with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And, you know, for anyone listening or checking this out after, you know, if anyone has any questions, reach out to me, and happy to help out and educate chiropractors on this and how it can help you guys out. So thank you so much for having me on, Dr. Mike. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, guys, again. And this, we're going to sign off this Master Talk. Just look forward, guys, to having you join us on the next Power Talk, Master Talk, or webinar. Talk to you soon.